He came up and blew twice. There he is.
Here's blowing. He's blowing.
Oh yeah.
We got that. We got that.
Yeah,
He's staying right along the surface.
a welcome committee.
There he blew again. Now he's going to roll his tail up. There it is.
Come up, jump up out of the water. That would be
Come on
flipping
out
awesome.
there.
We are YouTubers. We have a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do. This is kind of out of our norm.
Yeah.
It's
this
a-
is not what our channel's about, but
Resourceful living homestead. But he's staying right there. He's right on the surface.
Yeah.
There's another one blow.
Ooh, we got footage of two. Come on, jump up out of the water. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that one's just staying right there on top. He blew again, the other one. There's a third one.
Where's the third one?
Right there. Right in between them. There he's going to blow again.
Little whale watching. That we don't have to pay for. Anything extra.
They're staying right on top. That is awesome. Nope, that'll block you off on it.
Oh, don't worry about me.
They're blowing, man. They're blowing and going. Just trying to get that glare off.
Someone got in taxidermied and they didn't come and pick them up.
Oh,
And
that's
so
cool.
they saw the name of our store is Caribou Crossings. And so they're like, would you like a caribou?
And they donated?
I don't know if we bought it or they just gave it to us. I'm sure there was some money involved. But
So she's
isn't
given
it
us a
beautiful?
story of this caribou, how they ended up with it here in their store. Somebody had it taxidermied and never picked it up. And it either got donated or sold to the store really cheap.
Look at the shovels.
And now
on
they
them.
have
It's
it-
a good mature.
Isn't it
Have it
cool?
here
It
in
is.
their store on
And
display.
also
Its name? Get her. Get her.
McGregor is their
You
name.
need to get her on that.
Hi, I'm Bristol.
And
What's the name of your
That's
store?
McGregor. This is Caribou Crossings here in Juneau, Alaska.
We got a chat.
But, yeah, and there's a debate on whether he's an albino caribou or if he's just a real light colored one.
boardwalk sidewalk. We're actually in a United States national park. We've never had a major fire, we've never had a destructive earthquake. There's a ton of historical buildings preserved down here, so we'll point out some of the good stuff as we go through. Coming up on the left, the yellow and red building, is the original train depot from 1900. That now serves as the visitor center for to be a child, to be a junior ranger. I go in there every year, answer 5 questions, get a ranger badge, free souvenir. On the left side, coming up here, is the Red Onion Saloon, which used to be a bar and brothel during the gold rush, but now it's a bar and brothel museum. So it's $20 for 20 minutes, same price, different service. Okay. The AB Hall on the left there, that was built in 1899 as the headquarters for the Arctic Brotherhood. It has 8,883 pieces of driftwood on the front of that building. On the right side here is the Mascot Saloon, which is a Park Service exhibit. That's a restored saloon. You can't get a drink in there. But we do have 2 local breweries when you do need a drink by the end of that day. You've got the Skagway Brewing Company and the Klondike Brewing Company. They're both famous for their own version of the Spruce Tip Ale, which is brewed from the buds of the Sitka spruce trees and has your full day's worth of vitamin C in 1 pint. So it's good for you if you get scurvy on your ship. The hardware store on the right side here, that's our Walmart in town. Cool. They don't have it, you don't need it. It's like housewares, hardwares, homewares, kitchen supplies, cleaning supplies, pet supplies, furniture, souvenirs. That's your one-stop shop for everything. And speaking of shopping, coming up here in between 5th and 7th Avenues are a whole bunch of local businesses like Kermsey's Curios, Corrington's Ivory, Alaska Artworks, A Fine Line, Klondike Gift Supply, Buckshot and Bobby Pins. There's a quilt shop, there's a yarn store, there's a knife place. The reason I point these all out, this is where you want to go if you are looking for things made in Alaska by Alaskans.
Yes.
Now, just here, we are entering the financial district of Skagway. Now we're exiting the financial district. And if you look to the right, you look all the way down to the very end of 7th Avenue, you're going to see the only stone building in town, which is made out of local granite. Kind of looks like a church. Everybody always skips it. But that was never a church. That was built as a women's college in the early 1900s. And then both the girls dropped out to work for the Red Onions, and now it's a city museum. And that's it for downtown. So when you guys come back on the train this afternoon, your train comes in just 2 blocks away from that stone building. It comes in at the 10th Street platform. We will have a shuttle bus there that goes straight back to the buffet if that's what you want to do. But if you want to stay downtown and make your own way home, you're more than welcome to do so. You don't have to check in with us at the end of the train ride. Okay? But all the rest of this is all residential. Skagway is 22 blocks long and 4 blocks wide, and we're coming up on 11th Avenue, which means we're about halfway through town. In the summertime, about 2,500 people live here, but most of them are seasonal workers like me. We're here because you guys are here. You come, so we have jobs, so we come. When you leave, we don't have jobs, and we leave. And we leave about 700 people to spend the winter. So things get very quiet here in Skagway in the wintertime. Pretty much everything downtown shuts down except the hardware store and the liquor store. It's just the essentials. Now we're going to turn off of Broadway because not every street goes all the way down. This road's about to end. And we're going to turn here behind our clinic. This is our clinic here. It's a state-of-the-art medical facility in Skagway. We have doctor's office, dentist chair, and x-ray machine. this bus, that would be a pretty good time to get on the bus so we can go on and see something else. If you see me closing the door, it's time to run. Okay, I've been to school. You only need 90% to get an A. I don't have to bring all of you to the train, just most of you. Right? I'm a bus driver, I'm not a rocket surgeon. D stand in for a degree, but I've seen most of this twice. So right now, we're starting to climb over the White Pass, and we're going to be paralleling the train tracks. So you see a lot of this again as you come down on the train. And then once we get past Fraser, we're going up and coming right back down the exact same road. So if something is not on your side of the bus on the way up, it's on your side of the bus on the way back down. Okay, so we get to see almost everything twice, but there are a few places where we deviate from the train tracks, or we see some things that they don't get to see from the train, or there's things that just look better than others. That's the stuff I'm going to try to prioritize for us today for our photo stop.
Coming up on another big peak that we're getting ready to drive up.
So here's the train tracks right next to us here. You guys get a good look at those train tracks. Now you kind of understand why they needed to be narrow gauge. Right? Narrow gauge means they're only 3 feet from rail to rail. The standard nowadays is like 4 feet 8 inches.
Yes.
There's not a lot of room on that ledge over there. Right? So they built that train for the gold rush that came through Skagway in 1898. They finished it from Skagway all the way to Whitehorse in 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days exactly, which is pretty impressive looking at this terrain. You guys think about the technology we had in 1898. Picks, shovels, black lasting powder, that's it. We didn't even have dynamite yet. For a little comparison, this road we're driving on right now, this was not built until modern times with all the modern technology, loaders, dozers, dynamite, all the good stuff. Anybody want to guess how long it took to build this road? I'll give you a hint.
8 years.
Government job.
They're still working on it.
Yeah, done is a relative term. But it took 50 years. 50 years to finish this road. Up until the late 70s, that train was the only way in and out of Skagway by land.
People just got slower than
Private industry, government job.
Oh, there's a big peak back there in the background.
what's the pipe running down the side of the mountain over here?
The question is, what's the pipe? I don't know.
What's in it?
Has anybody ever heard of the Alaska pipeline?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not it. That's somewhere else.
Right.
This one is a water pipe. So it comes from Goat Lake at the top of the mountain. So there's a high alpine lake up there. At the top, where the pipe goes into the lake, it's 36 inches in diameter, but at the bottom it's only 30. So the water then coming down that pipe will pick up a lot of speed, a lot of force, a lot of pressure, shoot into a building, turn a turbine, and make electricity. So it's part of one of 3 hydroelectric projects that we have in and around Skagway. So we're actually entirely dependent on hydropower in town. And our original hydro project was built in 1902. So we've actually had electric lights in Skagway longer than they've had them in New York City. Kind of a big deal.
Yep.
Those are the train tracks there. So when you guys come down on the train, you're going to really wind to the back of all these valleys. You're going to go in and out and all about, because the train can't go that steep. The steepest that train travels is a 3.8% grade, which is honestly pretty steep for a train. But on the road, right here, right now, we're heading up the steepest part of the road. We are climbing this mountain at a 12.5% grade. So we're just going straight up on this side. It's a much more direct route over here on the road than you guys will have when you're coming down over there on the train. But when you guys are all the way over there, you're actually going to be looking all the way over here. So they're going to be saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the other side of the valley, where you will see Bridal Veil Falls flowing 3,000 feet from the Carmack Glacier all the way down to the Skagway River below. Wow, neat. So guys, let's direct our attention to our side of the valley since we're on the good side, and we will get to see Bridal Veil Falls.
close, turn around. Come down there. Sure, come in.
And what waterfall she call this?
Sure.
Nah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, and pan right up in the middle of it. That is.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Funny. If you look closely at it, you'll see it only has one single support. There's only one anchor on the south side. This entire bridge here is suspended from that single south side anchor. It's called a cantilevered suspension bridge, or a single-sided suspension bridge. The reason it's designed like that is because this crack it spans here is a fault line. Fault lines make earthquakes. So if you attached a bridge firmly on either side, a fault line probably wouldn't have a bridge for very long, because it would get stressed differently from either side. It would get pushed and pulled and twisted and turned and chipped and shorn and fall apart. So our solution, don't attach it on both sides, just attach it on one side, because then it won't get torn apart, it'll get torn away from the north side. It'll shape all together as one piece with the south side, and then when it's all said and done, we'll just glue them back together and go on our way. In the 40 some odd years we used that bridge, that actually worked just fine. So when I drove out of Skagway in 2019, I drove out of Skagway over that bridge, and there was a little bump at the north end because there was an expansion joint, 2 to 4 inch gap between the bridge and the road. And then we all know what happened in 2020. And in 2021, we still didn't have any cruise ships coming here. So in 2022, when the ships came back, you guys came back, my job came back, and I came back into Skagway driving over a brand new bridge. Because you kind of want to build a new bridge before you need it if you only have one road in and out of town. So the other bridge is fine, nothing's wrong with it. It's just getting older, so now we have a spare.
Can you see it? Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
Feet of snow in Tormented Valley in the winter of 1898. They really didn't like it, so they gave it a nasty name, but it's actually not that bad in the summertime. Okay? And if you look out to the right, you guys will see the train tracks right on the other side of the valley, that unnaturally straight line, a whole bunch of dirt down below. So you'll be over there this afternoon. We're going to stay over here for now, and in between us and the train tracks is going to be a body of water called Summit Lake. It's called Summit Lake because it's a lake near the summit. It's not that creative when we name stuff. But we've now moved into a new ecosystem. You guys started out your day today in Skagway in the rainforest. All of southeast Alaska is part of the Tongass National Rainforest. That's the largest temperate rainforest in the world. So you can't complain if it rains on your vacation. You vacation to a rainforest, right? It rains all the time in southeast Alaska. But now, up here at Treeline, we're actually moving into an ecosystem that is known as subalpine tundra. And if you look around us here, you can see Tormented Valley is a big U-shaped valley. It's flat along the bottom that slopes up very dramatically on either side, like a great big bathtub. Generally up north here, when we see a big U-shaped valley, we're pretty safe to assume it was carved out by ice, like glaciers moving through. When you see a V-shaped valley, more likely that was carved out by running water, waterfalls, rivers, streams. So we got this big U-shaped valley carved out by a glacier back in the day, probably Tuesday. And if you look around to get an idea of the size and scope of this glacier, because glaciers are nature's bulldozers, right? Nature's sandpaper. So they grind down the mountains and sand them smooth. underneath the ice, getting sanded down over the centuries. Anything jagged, which is just a few of the very tallest peaks, those would have been little islands of rock that were sticking up out of this massive moving river of ice. You guys can imagine this entire valley filled up with a glacier.
Charlie Brown trees.
All right, go stare into the sun, guys.
Summit Lake.
Love the Charlie Brown trees.
Beautiful Summit Lake.
They, 1,000-foot lake. 1,000 foot deep.
When we go skiing, usually it's West Virginia. Got it. Yeah, I don't ski. I try ski and implementation. Yeah, every year I try again. Every year I go just West Virginia. Snowboarding, there's no twisting. Your feet are shoulder width apart. 90 miles.
This is a freshwater lake carved out by glacier.
I
See
scanned.
these mountains around it, they just keep going straight down.
And was told that it is as deep as 1,000 feet.
Of a bigger white dot. Because they're so high up there, they don't really come down low enough to get good pictures. But it is kind of neat to know that they're up there. So this is the section of the road. If we're going to see any mountain goats today, it's going to be way up high to the left along this section, next section of the road. Okay, so you can keep an eye out up there. If you're looking for mountain goats, you might also spot some old wooden structures. These would be the leftovers from a mining operation that went on here in 1900. So in 1900, a guy named John Conrad showed up here, discovered silver in Montana Mountain, and then he opened up a series of mines and built himself 9 miles worth of tram line. Guys, think about the tram line like a ski lift, but with buckets instead of chairs. So what he would do is mine the ore out of the mountain, put it in the bucket would take it down to the lake would put it on a boat, the boat would take it up to Carcass, put it on the train, then go Skagway, put another boat, take it down to the lower 48. That is a lot of transportation, right, involved in reminding the silver. So then in 1910, you know, when the bottom dropped out of the price of silver.
Back there is Yukon. Yukon, Canada. We are officially in Canada. So from Alaska to Canada in one trip.
And a different lake that is twice as big as the last one.
Old mining shafts from, what'd you say, 1900?
1900.
From 1900 up there. Two of them. You can see.
Open, no trees in the way. Now you can see Bove Island in the middle of the lake. You can see the granite mountains on the left side here, the limestone on the right. The whole top of that mountain back there is all limestone, a little bit sticking out here, a little bit sticking out there. And you see where the lake narrows down and then it opens back up. So where it narrows down, this is the end of the windy arm. It opens up and then it wraps around the corner. Yeah, you're good. Wraps around the corner behind that mountain there. And the rest of this lake goes back south behind those mountains on the other side.
And all these purple flowers are called fire flowers, and it's their native to their area.
Alrighty,
It
guys.
tells the forecast.
So we're now going to
It
dip into the
tells their
trees again. I'll
forecast.
pick it up a little bit here.
So when
And,
those
it's
die
not
off,
very long. We're going to be to the
winter
park
is
cross.
usually
So
a couple
now
weeks
we need
away.
to start talking about lunch, right? So I'll tell you what, guys. The eating is the least exciting thing you're going to. And real quick, guys, I'm going to burst your bubble. That's not a desert, right?
Sand?
Yeah, deserts need under a certain amount of precipitation to be a desert ecosystem. That gets the same amount of rain and snow as everything else around. Food, and this is also the bathrooms. Washroom is Canadian for bathrooms. You follow the sign that says washroom. That'll take you back to the bathroom. And then
We are in Yukon, Canada. And this is where we stopped for lunch. They've got these wagons are set up with picnic tables. So you could eat inside those, or you could eat inside the big hitching post. And they've got the front of the walkway, Peel Box Drugs, Greg Mahal's Wild Yukon. We've got a tour bus in the way of people wanting to get video footage. It's kind of weird. And then we've got the Desert Saloon. Bell's Insurance Company. Wildlife Museum and Gift Shop. Welcome to Canada's Yukon, the true north. That's a caribou, although we have yet to see very little wildlife. Oh my goodness, look up there in the top of the mountain. See it up there? There's 2 mountain goats. It's like a true little saloon town. Caribou Cafe. The ice cream parlor. We just had barbecue chicken, coleslaw, baked potato, and a donut. It's what they served us for lunch. Surrounded by pine trees and mountains. That's a tiny little home Either it has sank or they used to just make them tiny. It's kind of cool. Little log cabin.
Actually here panning for gold. Our excursion in the Yukon. They stopped to feed us, and they have these wagons set up to eat in. And they also have a place over here where they train the dogs for mushing. Up on the hillside there is some sheep. There's my wife Kathy. She's so pretty. Built. Okay, here in the Yukon, this lake is called Emerald Lake. It has a secret history to it that the bus driver is going to give us the secret, but apparently whatever made this lake like this came from this mountain here. So we're going to find out. Emerald Lake. It is absolutely beautiful.
Emerald Lake. Absolutely gorgeous. Wave to them and see if they wave back. What a beautiful lake. Emerald Lake. And see how that's like circled around. The northern lights in the water. Trapped inside the water since it's off season.
Fancy way of saying powdered rock. Right, so you remember glaciers? Nature's bulldozers, nature's sandpaper. How they grind down the mountains, they sand them smooth. They powder up the rock so fine, it's almost the consistency of flour. And then we call it marl, or glacial silt, or glacial till. You can call it whatever you want, it's powdered rock. So back in the day, probably a Tuesday, there was a glacier right here. It was grinding down these mountains, sanding them smooth, and powdering up the rock, and all the minerals associated with it. And a big one in limestone is calcium carbonate. So you ended up with this light, white, fluffy dust. And as that glacier melted, it washed that marl, that white powdered rock, down to the basin here. And if you guys look out to the right as we go by this guardrail, you'll see the water in itself, the actual water in Emerald Lake is crystal clear. Look at that. Wow. So what we were doing is we were way up high, looking down through some very clear water at a lake with a white bottom. And at its deepest this point, Emerald Lake is almost 300 feet deep.
Oh, God.